Hi, I'm Sam Tucker, and choosing an OS for your computer can be very hard these days. With Windows coming with spyware pre-installed and calling it a feature, and Apple keeping your data private until it sends it to ChatGPT. You may be looking for an alternative. And let me tell you, when it comes to the rest, Linux is the best. Welcome to why Linux is simply better than Windows, Mac, or any other operating system in the world. Starting, of course, with freedom. When you install Linux, you can take a deep, calm breath, knowing that your private data isn't being sent off to some Microsoft server, or that your hand is being held by Grandpa Tim, who doesn't even know what a computer is.
What's a computer?
No, with Linux, the OS is built to fulfill the user, not to fulfill Tim Cook's pockets.
Thank you and have a great day.
Now, with that freedom, of course, comes a lot of responsibility and a lot of potential to really f up your computer. See, while Apple and Windows to some extent put up the guardrails and bubble wrap for their users, Linux throws you into the deep end of the pool and then closes the pool and throws it into the sixth circle of hell, called the terminal. See, rather than having a button you click to do something, with Linux they prefer to talk to their god directly, called sudo. In a very strange language that's a mix between Newspeak and Klingon. Sudo marker install. Sudo system knowledge. But you'll have more time to focus on that because Linux comes with less bloatware and viruses. See, one benefit of being less than 5% of the desktop market share means that hackers don't really bother making many viruses for Linux, making it a relatively safe environment to have on your computer. Heck, if you want to go all the way, FreeBSD just hit 0% of the market. Just imagine how few viruses they have. Not only are there less viruses slowing you down, but your Linux computer is not going to come pre-installed with too much useless bloat on it, like Windows machines might. In fact, with Linux, you can debloat it so much that it just becomes text. Isn't that pretty? Of course, a lot of the reason that there's not much bloat with Linux is because, well, it's just not compatible with it. I mean, while most companies make apps for Windows and Mac, on Linux, if you want to change your Logitech mouse settings, you'll have to input fine numerical details into a text document. And that's after installing dependencies, building the project, and creating a config file. Oh my God, Linux just put a slider in.
I will show you the beauty of free software. These are scripts other people have written. They don't work really well.
On the plus side, another thing you won't see pushed into your Linux install is all this AI stuff. Now, is that because the Linux makers couldn't figure out AI? Or is it because AI couldn't figure out Linux? Hard to say. But hey, at least Linux gives you choice and is cheap. Of course, you might say that macOS is free, but that's if you bought a $5,000 block of aluminium to go with it.
Isn't that amazing?
But with Linux, you're not locked inside the walled garden of Apple. Has no one else noticed that Apple's headquarters is literally a walled garden? No? Just me? And you can buy and build the computer that you want from a list of components that support Linux. I mean, sure, Linux could work on a bunch of different configurations, but if you want the sound to sound and the screen the right way round, it's best to check first. And even then it's only 50-50.
Oh God.
But with Linux, there's a bunch of different distros you can try out that should suit your configurations and needs. Like, bring life to an old laptop with a light Linux distro, or get the best out of your beast pewter with a gaming-focused one. There's Temple OS for the religious and Miley Cyrus OS for the ungodly. They're all free to try out, and you can even save the OS onto a USB stick and live boot from it without even having to install the thing. And that is why Linux is simply better. If you disagree, then check out our other videos in the series. And if you'd like to know how everything I just said about Linux is technically incorrect, then just scroll down to the comments to read the Linux community comments. They'll be the really long ones.
Subscribe today.
I still say that Windows is simply better than Mac OS. And Linux, let me tell you why. Windows works with all the latest software, all the latest games, and all the latest viruses. It's got it all.